The San Antonio Spurs have a very bright future, and Victor Wembenyama looks like one of the best young players we've ever seen, but it looks like Coach Greg Popovich and company are following a blueprint that was set by the Milwaukee Bucks just a few seasons ago, back when they won the championship in 2021. Now, let me explain. This core that the Spurs have built with Vassell, Wemby, and now Stephon Castle very closely resembles the core that Milwaukee had with Drew Holiday, Giannis, and Chris Middleton. That team went on to win the NBA championship. Now, the supporting cast here in San Antonio is not quite as good as it was in Milwaukee that year, to say the least. There's definitely still some work to be done there. But overall, I mean, the top three, it's very similar, you have to admit. It starts with their two-way wing in Devin Vassell, who got here first. Every year his defensive rating has gone down, which is a little bit concerning, but he's had more and more of a workload on the offensive side of the ball, so it's not really that big of a deal. And he will be 24 next season. He averaged 19.5 points a game, 4.1 rebounds, 3.8 assists, and 1.1 steals per game for the Spurs this year, while shooting it at about 47% from the field, 37% from three, 6.6 attempts. But I just did a full video on him, so if you want to go see more on him, go check that out. But his comparison on that Milwaukee team that won the championship would be Chris Middleton. And if Vassell can turn into a Chris Middleton type player for this San Antonio team, that is huge for them. Middleton averaged 20.4 points, 6 rebounds, 5.4 assists in 33 minutes per game the year that the Bucks won the NBA championship, and that was on 48% shooting from the field and 41% from three on about 6 attempts per game. Middleton really became that closer down the stretch in games for Milwaukee, and he was huge for them time and time again. And then they had their freak from overseas. This, for the Bucks, it was Giannis. For the Spurs, it is Wemby, obviously. And Giannis, he's pretty good. Wemby, he's pretty good as well. I mean, a little bit of an understatement. But Wemby averaged 21.6 points, 10.6 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3.6 blocks as a rookie, while shooting 47% from the field, 33% from three, 80% from the free throw line. And Chris Paul is going to make this man so much better. Y'all don't even understand. Him having a true point guard for once is going to level his game up immensely. Just look at some of these clips. I mean, he is a walking highlight reel, a walking cheat code. Look at this. Give me that. Out in passing lanes at 7'5". We're going the other way. We're dunking it. Up top, I'm looking down at the rim when I'm dunking it. And then we're going to go tween again, step back over Daniel Gafford. Nothing but chords. Victor Wembanyama is a cheat code. So yeah, the big three there. Obviously, you have Drew Holiday left to talk about, Vassell and Wemby, and then Stephon Castle could be the Drew Holiday for this San Antonio Spurs team. Now, hear me out. Obviously, he's nowhere near as good as Drew Holiday right now offensively. But defensively, they're very similar. Both are about 6'5", Castle being a little bit taller, Holiday being a little bit shorter. But just look at this play right here. He goes to double, leaves Devin Carter to go to double, and then ends up sprinting back and guarding number 14 in the post and absolutely clamps that up. We're going the other way. Crazy work there from Stephon Castle. Here he is again, locking up on the defensive side of the ball, using that chest, using all 215 pounds on his frame, 6'6", and he is extremely, extremely physical. Now, the offense is 100% a work in progress. Drew Holiday is a over 40% shooter from the three-point line and is a really, really good scorer overall, while Stephon Castle is definitely a project. Now, they don't have the Pat Connaughtons, the Brook Lopez's, even Bryn Forbes of that Milwaukee team that, were just great role players. But that is a work in progress. This is still a young San Antonio team. Now, they do have a mentor for Vassell, and that is Harrison Barnes, who at 32 years old, averaged 12.2 points per game, 3 rebounds, 1.2 assists in 29 minutes per game. Just a really, really good role player. He shot 47% from the field this year, 39% from three on 4.7 attempts. And like I said, he's really going to be a great mentor for Vassell when it comes to catching and shooting. Great corner three guy. He's just been around for a while. Very experienced, and I think he is going to rub off on Vassell. This is pretty much a perfect match for him. Now, like I said, I'm expecting a big year for Vassell. I did a whole video on it, but I think this could be, if this projected stat line that Basketball Reference did, if this comes true, 21 points, 4.2 assists, 4.6 rebounds on very good efficiency, that's a perfect season for Vassell. Great growth around Wemby, around, eventually it'll be Stephon Castle. Right now it's Chris Paul. the rest of this core, Keldon Johnson, Sohan, we'll see what happens there. That is a really, really good season for Vassell. Now, that being said, let's go ahead and take a break here. Make sure to the like button, leave me a comment down below, and hit that subscribe button if you are enjoying today's video at any point. As you can see here, a large majority of the people that watch these videos are not subscribed to the channel, so if that is you, go ahead and switch that right now. And with that being said, let's go ahead and continue on looking at the 3-point guard problem that they have in San Antonio. It's not really a problem, more of a luxury, because they have Trey Jones, they have a 39-year-old Chris Paul, and then they have the rookie Stephon Castle. And I think, Trey Jones gets swept under the rug a lot, but he's a guy that I think will stick around and be a long-term piece for them. Averaged 10 points, 6.2 assists, 3.8 rebounds, and 1 steal per game last year as a backup guard, while shooting 51% from the field, 34% from 3, and 2.5 attempts. I think we could see them do something like the Indiana Pacers are doing, where they implement that 3-guard lineup, roll out 3 guards, and it's tough to stop. Now, Trey is only 6'2", with a 6'4" wingspan, so that's a little undersized for the modern NBA, but he can definitely make it work off the bench, especially if he gets his 3-point percentage up a little bit, then it'll be even better. You also have Jeremy Sohan, who is a very, very high pick. They invested a lot of draft capital in this guy, so they're definitely going to try and make it work. And he has Greg Popovich working with him. He's a great defender, obviously, but he averaged 11.6 points, 6.4 rebounds, and 3.4 assists per game last season, while also averaging a steal. These are some clips from a couple of years ago. That's a volleyball spike into the front row on Jordan Nora. The big concern for Sohan is that he only shot 31% from 3 on 4 attempts and 44% from the free throw line, so obviously not good, and that was on 4 attempts per game as well. So not fantastic. 77% from the free throw line. That is very... that's a much bigger improvement, while Keldon Johnson, on the other hand, I don't know, man. He only not very efficient. He's due to make $54 million over the next 3 years. It's going to be interesting. Coming off of a season where he averaged 15.7 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 2.8 assists in 29 minutes. Now, you might be thinking, that's not a bad year for a younger player in the NBA. Well, considering he only shot 45% from the field, 35% from 3 on 5 attempts, and last year, his numbers were much better at 22 points a game, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and around the same efficiency. Now, I know Wemby came in, but still, that's a noticeable downtick for Keldon. I'm not sure if he is sticking around. But there is still hope for a young wing by the name of Malachi Branham, who is still just 20 years old going into this season. He will be a nice piece for the Spurs long term, in my opinion. Coming off a season where he averaged 9.2 points per game, 2.1 rebounds, and 2 assists in 21 minutes a night. Very good numbers for a guy like Branham, and I think he can continue to develop off the bench as kind of a microwave scoring option. Shot 43% from the field last year, 35% from 3 on 4 attempts, and, pretty solid. His rookie year, he was minus 1% from the field goal, but he did improve 5% from the 3-point line, so that is development, and that's what you like to see in San Antonio. And yeah, what do y'all think down in the comment section below? Let me know. Do you think they're kind of trying to copy that Milwaukee Bucks formula? Obviously it works. What are y'all's thoughts? Let me know down in the comment section below. Also, make sure to that like button. Trying to hit 200 likes on today's video, and hit that subscribe button. It'll be greatly appreciated. And with all that being said, thank you so much for watching today's video.